So, Summerslam 2018 has come and gone, and I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on it. I won't be able to spend too much time talking about this, but ultimately, I thought it was a just an average slash closer to mediocre pay per view. I thought a lot of the matches just didn't live up to the caliber they could have been. Um, and then, what was even worse was that there was way too many squash matches that just had no point to them, considering what they tried to do to build up, up to SummerSlam. So, I'll try to give a few examples here, but I won't. Like I said, I won't be able to go too much into them. Maybe I'll follow up with a much more in-depth uh, uh, video later. But it started off with on the pre-show with the Rusev Lana Cien Alma, match, and that was just useless. I mean, it lasted only a couple of minutes, with Lana getting pinned, and I mean, it was not a very good match at all. And then we went to the cruiserweight match, which was a very entertaining match. But like I said in my prediction video, I really didn't care. I'm not invested in 205 Live. Watch it occasionally, but even when I do watch it, it just does nothing for me. Um, the tag team championships between the B team and the Revival, semi entertaining. I have to admit, I do not like the B team's new music. I find it relatively annoying, simply because it just repeats itself over and over. And it gets kind of old really fast. I like their old music better. And I really don't like the way they're treating the Revival. The Revival's a good, solid tag team, and they're just kind of coming off as a sideshow. I think this could have been a much more quality match, and they need to do away with the accidental wins here. The B team could be a much better performance based team. I mean, these guys are good. They're quality guys. The joke has come and gone. They could still be funny on their promos. I really enjoy their promos, but as far as their in ring ability, I think they could be a little bit more solid. Uh, then we go into the main show, which actually went a lot faster than I expected to. Started at 7 and ended right at 11. I was expecting it to finish closer to 12, but it started off with uh, Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, which I have to say was a very, very, very good match. Those two never disappoint. Had a good quality match. Uh, I think I predicted that that would be a good match. Um, and then we go into a few other matches here. We had the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. That was a decent match, but once again, I didn't think. Not the Usos. Why did I say the Usos versus the New Day? Um, that was not a bad match. I was actually surprised to see Xavier Woods jump over the top rope there. I've never seen him do that before, so that was quite entertaining. But in the end, we Bludgeon Brothers, got themselves disqualified. Um, really disappointed with uh, the Finn Balor Baron Corbin match. I know I'm kind of going out of order here, but like I said, it's kind of early in the morning here, and I'm just going to go through this quickly. I was very disappointed with the Finn Balor match. One of the things when they were going through the vignettes before the match, I thought to myself, I'm like, what if they brought back the Demon? That would be really, really cool to have a match between him and Baron Corbin, but with him as a Demon, just have a good quality match. And then, sure enough, he comes out dressed as the Demon, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. And then it's a 5 minute squash match. Come on, guys, this it didn't have to be that way. So I was happy, but yet disappointed. Uh, Next, I'm gonna go over the Daniel Bryan, the Miz match. It was what it was. Those two are quality performers. And it ended the way it did. Really nothing to go there. We'll have more matches between them. Um, the Carmella, Charlotte Flair, uh, Becky Lynch match. kind of went the way. It didn't surprise me how that ended, and I was kind of happy that it went for a heel turn there because uh, it just had to head that way. But once again, it was rather predictable. Uh, and then we go to the Shinsuke Nakamura um, Jeff Hardy match. Relatively boring. Really nothing new there. Uh, Jeff Hardy did an interesting spot, but once again, those two just don't seem to gel very well. So I'm hoping this is the end of that particular storyline. But then, once again, Randy Orton comes out and just stands there and walks away. What the hell is that? That does nothing. Um, then we get to another squash match between Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. What the hell was that? I mean, you built all this up, you do all this stuff over the past few months and pay-per-views, and then if you wanted just to have a match, then just have a squash match. But this was absolutely nothing, absolutely useless. I really, really hated it. If there was a way I could rate this match 0 stars or -stars, I would, because it was pointless. Then we get to the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe match, and now I have to say that was a very entertaining match. Those two are incredible performers. I understand they've worked together very well in the past. I've never seen it. This is the first time I've seen them work together. I can't complain about the match. In fact, I really enjoyed, the whole. I'm not a fan of the whole family aspect, but I really enjoyed the way they did it. Especially, with Samoa Joe, saying, I'll be your daddy at the end. That made me laugh. I had a chuckle there. Um, and then, seeing AJ with his family, that was pretty cool. Anyway, good match, good quality match. Hopefully, we can kind of drop that angle and get back to a few more matches between the two because I think those two can really do some better matches. I have to say I was impressed with AJ Styles putting Samoa Joe in the Styles Clash. That was impressive. That's a big guy to try and lift up there. Anyway, moving on. Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey. Oh, good lord. I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of how they're handling Ronda Rousey. I like Ronda Rousey as an athlete. I think she's incredible. I think, but I think the way the WWE has handled her has not been very well. I think she should have won the championship in WrestleMania next year. You kind of build her up each and every pay-per-view. I think she's won it way too quickly. Um, that's just my personal opinion. This match was completely useless. Another squash match. She goes in there, throws Alexa Bliss around, who's all of 50 pounds. I mean, I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything, but I just don't like the way they just handled Ronda Rousey's character. But shouts out to Natalia out there. She came out in her father's jacket. Heart goes out to her. Her father passed away last week, Jim DeAville Neidhart, who was a huge fan of his back in the 80s. So I have to give her props for coming out there so soon after her personal tragedy. So that was pretty cool. Then we get to the final match. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and that was just another horrible match. I can't even talk about it in the seriousness. Braun Strowman comes out, gives a halfway decent promo. That was cool. But then once he comes out, you can kind of guess how it's going to work. And sure enough, Roman Reigns comes out to, a whole bunch of Superman punches and a few spears. And you can see the way Brock Lesnar's falling. He's, they've kind of made him weaker in this match. And then the rest just became incredibly predictable. I kind of was watching with my sons here, and I was like, okay, Brock Lesnar's going to get the better of Roman Reigns, and then he's going to start putting the beat down to Braun Strowman, and then, somehow Roman Reigns is going to win. And sure enough, less than a minute later, that's exactly what happened. The match wasn't even uh, maybe 5-10 minutes long, so technically, it was almost another squash match, almost a fourth squash match in one pay per view. That is just, I didn't like it at all. I thought the ending was horrible. Um, I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns winning the championship. I just thought it just didn't work out the way I would have liked it. But that's just me talking as a fan here. But in the end, that's how it was. So, what did you think of this year's SummerSlam? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Um, like I said, if I could give the entire pay per view score, I'd give it, out of 5 stars, maybe 2 or 2.5, and that's just being incredibly generous. And like I said in my previous video, the NXT uh, program was a much more solid program, and I just find it interesting how a bunch of up and comers can have a better pay per view than a bunch of solid veterans. NXT A plus, SummerSlam C minus, okay, D plus. So I mean, whoever's running NXT needs to be booking WWE. But anyway, that's it for me. Like I said, give me your thoughts. I like talking to you guys, and I'm out of here. Until next time, peace.